What's going on, everybody? Alex with you here again. Thanks for dropping by. We're going to be looking at the iChessOne electronic foldable chessboard one more time today. This video is going to be kind of like an update, or more or less kind of like my for the time conclusion video about this board, having tested this board extensively within the past couple of weeks. As much as I enjoy playing on this board, I will be sending it off tomorrow back to its manufacturer because they're going to be continuing to work and develop certain physical characteristics of the board. As I mentioned in my previous video, this is only a prototype, so they're going to be adding a battery to it, additional lights, indicators, on and off button, and all kinds of cool stuff. But I wanted to sort of conclude this video and give you my thoughts about what I feel like this board does well. What are some of the things I would like to see maybe improved, and more importantly, me sharing with you guys some thoughts, not specific to this electronic chessboard, but kind of deriving some things that I liked about this board itself and the way that it operates and works. I wish to see in more electronic chessboards from different companies. So, you know, like DGT, Square Off. It's not uncommon that some of the people that work for those companies will also be watching my video at some point, perhaps, maybe not, I don't know, but I feel like it might be helpful to those people to actually watch this video and take some things into consideration as they're developing future models of their own chessboards, to basically say, okay, he has a point there in, you know, what he's describing. So, like I said, I really enjoy playing on this board. And I'm gonna go ahead and start off by saying that I kind of wish I didn't have to send it back, to be honest with you, but I do understand that by sending it back, I'm given the opportunity for the company to actually add on additional features and everything to this board. So we'll send it back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get the final product, you know, in a couple of months or whenever they're finally finished with it. But okay, to start off with, I'm gonna tell you guys that this is gonna be across the board something that's very important for everybody to realize is electronic chessboards have to compete against online chess. Electronic chessboards don't necessarily compete with club type of style chess or over the board chess, because that's kind of a little bit of a different venue, and for a lot of people that are unable to go to chess clubs or chess events, electronic chessboards or online chess is going to be the only way that they'll have the opportunity to play chess. So really, these electronic chessboards, whether it's Square Off, whether it's Chestnut, whether it's iChessOne, they're all competing against online chess. Now, that's a pretty steep competition to go against. If you think about it, most everybody either has a cell phone or a computer or an iPad, and it's very easy to create an account on Chess, on chess.com, on ChessKid, or, you know, what have you, or even have an offline type of game. But it's really easy for people to create an account, to go in and start playing chess right away. It doesn't cost money most of the time. Chess is free. Chess.com is free to play too. And you can have many enjoyable games. You are playing with practically no lag, and you have the opportunity to have all the features that you're looking for. Your games are recorded, so you can review them later. You can extract your games and send them in, you know, PGN format or what have you. You have everything you need by playing chess online. I mean, yes, we've talked about the things that, you know, you have to be staring at a screen, possibly a little bit fatiguing for the eyes, that type of thing. But a lot of people have computers. A lot of people, so the fact that online chess is so prevalent and that 99% of the people prefer to play chess online gives this sort of a really quite a steep competition to go against. So a board like this or any other board, when I'm sitting at home and I'm like just sitting there, I don't know, I want to play a game of chess, what is going to be my decision process? I'm going to say, well, I'd like to play a game of chess. Should I get a chessboard off the shelf, set up my pieces, and play that way? I'll have to connect. I'll have to make sure everything's working. I'll have to make sure the battery's charged. I'll have to make sure I set up the pieces properly. If I've lost a piece somehow, I have to make sure I find it. That's a lot of stuff to have to go against. You know what I mean? So the board itself will always have those things to basically be a disadvantage compared to online chess. So what are some of the things that I would like sit there and I would say, no, actually I don't want to play online on the computer. I actually want to play on the real board. So the real board like this, like iChessOne or any other companies, they have to have something that really works for them, for any person to be like, yeah, okay, I definitely, you know, even because it's so easy to play online. You just click and go. A lot of times the computer's in sleep mode, so all you have to do is move the mouse and you're there. I mean, you're already playing within like 40 seconds. This, you know, you have to think about that. So for all companies out there, they have to make something really good about the physical product that would actually make me, in my mind, continuously say, no, you know, as much as I think playing online is fun, I'd rather play on this. And it's not just because you spend money on it. It's not just because somebody gave you this as a gift and you feel obligated to play as opposed to online. There has to be something where this wins in competition. Of course, I could argue and say these boards allow you to play in a real life scenario. And yes, that is by far one of the biggest advantages, but that's not the only thing. The speed and the latency of chessboards, they have to be fast. I will show you here in just a second. One more time, we'll play a game. If the board itself has some delay between the board and the connection online, that might be a little bit of a turnoff, especially if you're playing a quick time game, whether it's like 10-minute, like for me, 10-minute game is about as fast as I'd like them to be. And a lot of times I find myself that I will sometimes lose on time because I take extra time to think. I'm not a fast thinker, so whatever, you know. So 10 minutes for me is a little too fast, even online. But online, a lot of times I can move quick enough because here on a physical chessboard, I have to pick up the piece, I have to exchange the piece or move it. Like during the exchange, I have to take the opponent's piece, I have to put it down, I have to put my own piece in that place. That takes time. Even if it's a few seconds here and there, it takes time. And sometimes, if you're rushing, sometimes you might hit against a piece and then the piece falls down. That takes time. So we don't realize that the computer doesn't have those issues. You know, you just click the mouse and the opponent piece just disappears. And that's it. It's a seamless experience. So, but latency in any chessboard should be a big no-no. For all chess companies out there that are either thinking about developing a new chessboard, or they've already been developing chessboards for a long time, the biggest thing for me, as far as whether it's going to make me decide to play the board or play on the computer, is latency. If there's any latency, if I'm moving a piece and I have to wait even like half a second and I recognize that there's that latency, it's almost as if calling, like when you're calling to another country and then you're talking to your friend and you have to wait for him to finish the sentence before you can talk. Otherwise, what's going to happen is the signals will crisscross and you won't be able to hear half of what he says, and he won't be able to hear anything you said, and you'll be like, yeah, hello, yes, hello. And then you wait for him to finish everything and you're like, yes, I understand. I'm hearing my own echo, so this is really frustrating. You know, it's like, we don't want that. We don't want that with any phone calls. It's like, I don't know, that's why people talk in real life. But anyways, I don't mean to digress. The latency should probably be minimized as much as possible. As much as possible with the current technology of the way the boards are designed, with the software, with the firmware. Everything should be continuously developed in such a way that I pick up a piece, I put it down, and I should not see any delay. No delay, okay? That can make a big difference for a lot of people that are playing quick games. If they're playing 5-minute games, 3-minute games, you feel delay, that's it. I'm gonna go play on my computer, okay? That's one of the things that I really liked about this board, and you will see here in just a minute when I open this up and we'll play again online on Lichess. The delay is non-existent. and it works quick. I've mentioned this before, and that is one of the big things why somebody would continuously return to this board. If you're developing a chessboard, like I said, you don't want to just sell the chessboard to a customer and be like, okay, we're done. Customer paid and whatever, you know. You want the customer to continue playing, because if the customer really does enjoy playing on this board as opposed to playing online, he will recommend the board to other people, and then other people will purchase it. So it's that sort of internal recommendation process that actually will get a lot more customers. So the board has to work really well. Secondly, glitches. Any glitches within the software or within the board itself is a big turnoff for me. If there's a glitch that happens within the software while you're trying to log in and try to play the game, if I'm sitting there and I'm finicking around with the software and I can't figure out because I can't log in because for some reason it says my password is incorrect even though I have not changed it and the password's always been that way, or if for some reason I'm trying to log in on chess.com and it's somehow glitching, or it's not allowed, or a button, I'm pressing a button on the screen to log in and the button doesn't seem to be working, like, it's a big turnoff. You know, you pay for a product and it's not working properly, it's going to make me frustrated, it's going to make me want to just leave and play online. I mean, I can play chess on my computer, it's not a big deal, you know, but if I have a chessboard and I really want to play on that chessboard and I find that it's glitchy software, I'm going to put that chessboard down and play either on another chessboard or I'm going to play on the computer. I'm not one of those people that'll be like, oh, yeah, maybe I used to be when I was younger where like I was a Windows guy and I would be like, oh, for some reason my Windows, this was back in like early 2000s, my Windows is kind of glitchy. Let me figure out how to maybe like optimize the system or hack it or do whatever, and you know, find some additional plugins or something. Go read some threads online and forums. I don't have time for all that. That's why I'm a Mac guy now. I need things to work properly. If they're not working properly, I'm going to leave it alone and I go work on something else that'll work properly for me. I don't need any more glitches. And that's how a lot of people need to perceive these things. Like I said, this has to compete against online chess. And if this in any way glitches or malfunctions, it's going to be a turnoff for people. A glitch within the software is okay if we know that that glitch is being worked on. If the company, for example, says we're working on making this board be able to play on chess.com, but we don't have that feature yet because we're still developing that feature, that's fine. I'm not anticipating them to have that feature. If they said, yeah, we have the ability to play on chess.com, but for some reason it's not playing, that's frustrating. And then the worst type of glitch, the worst one that I can think of, is when the board glitches like mid-game. I really don't like that, and it would be like the #1 reason why I would not pick up the board to play any more chess games if the board like pretty often glitches mid-game. That would be like the biggest turnoff for me, because if I'm playing on the board, I do not think about how the board works. At that time when I'm playing, I do not think about what color is the board. I do not think about anything except the game itself. I'm really tuned in. I don't care about anything else, okay? And if you're in the middle of the game and you know how that feels when you're like thinking and calculating your moves and all of a sudden you try to exchange and for some reason the board freezes, or it says that the piece was not taken when in fact you took the piece, and then you are looking and you have to go back and reference your phone, which is something I really don't like to do, and you're like, no, the board says I didn't make a move yet. Okay, let me take the opponent's piece and move it back and put mine. Let's try it again. No, let's try it again. Oh, okay, it's no, guys, no. If you're developing a chessboard, it has to be glitch free. The nice thing about this board itself here is the pieces are individually recognized exactly for what they are. So a rook is recognized as being a rook, just like we've seen on the chestnut. That is a big plus for these type of boards because in the middle of the game, sometimes I find myself, if I'm rushing, If I knock into a piece accidentally, which happens from time to time, we're all human, but if, for example, I kind of move too fast and the opponent piece kind of falls, and things sort of fall, or maybe the additional piece gets knocked over a little bit, all I have to do is pick up the pieces and sort of put them back, and it recognizes that that's the final position, okay? That is fine, and it works. It only works that way because the pieces are being individually recognized, so that way there's no confusion between the board and the game itself. We've seen on some of the other boards, maybe sometimes if you're playing very fast, the board can get confused. If at any point, even if it happens once every 5 games, the board gets confused and I can't finish my game, I'm not going to pick up that board anymore. Like I said, I need to have a game that will be stable. If I have 2 computers that I have, for example, that I want to play chess on, and I'm deciding between one and the other, and one of the computers periodically, every once in a while, drops internet connection for a couple of seconds, and then takes time to get the connection back, you will be sure that I'm not going to be playing my chess games on that computer, okay? I'm only going to be playing on a computer that will provide me with the most stable game that will have the minimal amount of lag. In fact, the computer that I play downstairs, it has the ability to connect to my internet through Wi-Fi, but I actually connect it through an Ethernet cord, so that way I never get a drop-in connection, because I don't want to have connection issues at all, period, when I'm playing the games. So that's that. No lag, no glitches. If you make a chessboard, those are like the primary 2 things. Third thing is LED lights. We'll take a look here in just a minute and I'll show you guys what I mean, but LED lights need to be bright as possible. Chestnut Evo has created sort of this illumination of the entire square that I really like. Some people could say the squares can be a little too bright at times, but I love it. So the entire square gets lit up really well. The DGT Centaur, we've also seen, had a really bright circle that was like right around the square. And this board here, the lights can be adjusted, but at their highest settings, they're bright enough to where I can play with sun hitting directly through the window and I can still see them pretty easily. I don't have to squint, I don't have to put my blinds down, I don't have to do this type of thing. That's a big thing, okay? Obviously, you need to have the option to adjust the light, the illumination of those LED lights in case where I'm playing in the evening or something. You don't want them so bright that they're going to be distracting, so you need to have different levels of intensity. But at the highest intensity level, any one of these electronic boards, I should be able to go out in direct sunlight during the middle of the day, set up my board, and be able to see the lights easily. I mean, that might be a lot to ask because those LED lights, if you make them that bright, potentially they could blow out. So there has to be some kind of a limit to the intensity. But the higher the intensity, the better, to be honest with you. Because just like I was playing on this board this morning, I had light coming in through the window, not like this light, because this light is okay. But I had an actual like straight, direct sort of sunrise light that was hitting through the window all over the table, and I was able to play easily because I could see the LED lights really nicely. They were bright enough. So that's a third thing. If you're gonna make a board that has LED lights, those LED lights need to be bright enough for you to be able to see them. Any condition, any time of day. So let me just bring the camera a little bit closer. I'll show you guys a few more things that I may have not mentioned in the previous video and kind of give you my final thoughts about this board. Let me just start off by kind of concluding some of the things. The bag is really quite nice. I've mentioned this before, but I really wouldn't change a whole lot about the way the bag is constructed. I like this sort of design where they take the pieces, the 2 ends of it, and then they stitch through it. So instead of having like an inward type of a stitch like this, they have this sort of outward design. It's kind of really neat, and I like the decision as far as how it's been made. It looks really cool. The internal bag that comes with it, the sort of a canvas bag that we've seen before, keeps the board nice and well protected. And then I personally have been stowing it just the way that it came. I put it in this bag, and then I put this bag inside here. The way that this particular sort of carrying case has been designed is when you fit the board in, it fits in there so snug that it doesn't have any extra space in there, so it doesn't wobble around or anything like that. I really like the bag overall for its style, for its color, and it's just got a nice feel to it. I like this bag. Nice, thick, durable. I feel like it's gonna keep your board protected. It's got that sort of a nice, and the whole product, this whole board and the whole everything kind of, to me, feels like this sort of an underdog type of thing, where the board works really surprisingly well. And then it's made to have this sort of a, like I said, like an underdog feel to it. Like, it's not super flashy, neither is the box nor the board, but it's like this sort of like a mysterious approach to where you don't realize that the board is really good actually, but it just comes looking kind of a little plain, but that's the cool part that I like about it. I've always liked that feature. And then the board itself too kind of has the same characteristic to it. When you open it up, you have all your pieces inside. We've already seen this before. We've got a pen, which pen is cool, but I don't know if the pen should be included in the final design. I'm not really sure. This is actually something I wanted to show you guys one more time. This, what I showed you in the previous video, which I said this is really kind of almost a little excessive for just a cord bundling thing where you put your cord, but this is actually also serves as a phone stand. So you have two different thicknesses here. You got one thickness on here, and you got a different thickness, a little bit less thick on this side. Now my phone, the way that it is I have like a phone that folds on itself. I'm still able to use the phone like this. So for me, because I have this thick case, I'm able to still use it in the thicker one, but if you don't have as thick of a case, you might be able to get away by using the smaller side, okay? And it does work pretty well. It will stand just like this, just like that. It will stand just nice. It doesn't allow you to adjust the angle of it, but it still will put the, it'll put the phone at an angle that will be relatively the right angle for you to be able to have a good view of your phone. I just wanted to mention to you guys, because like I said in the previous video, I was like, this is really cool, but a little maybe too excessive to just hold the cord. And then the company actually contacted me and they were like, oh yeah, you know, by the way, that's a phone stand. And I was like, oh really? And then I kind of looked at it again and yeah, it is. It's a phone stand. So that's kind of cool. You get a phone stand. So that's something I wanted to mention to you guys. Yeah, but yeah, the pieces themselves, another thing that I wanted to mention is, although these are the actual pieces that we see within this board itself, there will be additional different pieces of different wood that will also be available. In fact, if you go to their website, you will be able to see that they will have this particular board with slightly different variation of pieces. If you wanted to pay a little bit extra, you can get different types of wood. That's something worthwhile, especially for people who like to have a little bit of variety or have to sort of make their chess set a little bit more unique. Let me turn this board around, take the pieces out, connect everything, so show you one more time kind of what I wanted to share with you guys again.
Alright, so the direct sunlight test experiment, I don't think I've ever done this experiment with any other board, just because it's not physically feasible, so to speak, to be able to connect and see the board in direct sunlight. But we're going to test this anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and just turn an online game on. I doubt we're going to be able to see anything, but then again, if you're playing a game in direct sunlight like this, I wouldn't even advise for it, because it's like 1:30 in the afternoon and the sun is blazing hot. So I don't necessarily think anybody would necessarily want to spend an hour playing a game where they're going to get kind of burned by the sun so much. So you'd probably end up playing in the shade anyways. If you wanted to play outside, then you would play either on a cloudy day or you'd play under some kind of a canopy. Or so if I put my hand over it, you guys can probably see that the opponent is moving their knight over here. If we remove it, yeah, I don't think we can see it I don't really think I have a board that you'd be able to see in like direct sunlight, so it's too bright for any type of board, to be honest with you. So you can see kind of like if we go right here with the shaded arm that the opponent is moving their knight once again. Like that. Now we're back inside. There's still plenty of light in the room, but you know, it's not in direct sunlight. Just like I said, even my camera started to kind of overheat from being outside in direct light. I just don't think, unless it's maybe like an evening time, I don't think there's really any particular reason anybody would want to play in direct sunlight. It's just brutal outside, it's hot, and maybe on a cloudy day it would be better, but in direct sunlight there's no reason for you to be outside. Yeah, so one thing I want to go ahead and show, I in fact tried to record this video before, and then all of a sudden like I realized my camera wasn't recording. So just the speed overall, let me show you. Okay, when you have the game going, like this is an example of a game that we played against 2 players. If you guys can see the screen, I know you might have a little bit of a difficulty, but hopefully once I edit the video, I'll make it to where you can see the screen a little bit better. But just look at the speed of the way that it plays. Like, recognize the fact that we have like practically no lag whatsoever. I mean, this is very fast in my opinion. I haven't really seen many boards that work that quickly. It is a possibility that because they're still developing the software, that that's the reason why it's working so quickly. Maybe once they load up all the software and stuff and it becomes more sort of advanced and able to play with third-party applications, maybe at that point it's not going to be as fast. But as you can see at this point, it is very, very quick. I'm not really making any particularly good moves, but in fact I'm almost losing against myself. There we go. Oh, it's his turn now. There we go. Anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to show you, is just the speed overall of the game really does allow this board to be used in a very much so bullet, blitz, you know, 3-minute games. As you can see, things are moving very quickly. Even online, let me just reset the board up real quick and I'll show you that even online it plays really fast. Now, we are going to be showing, as I've said before, just the capabilities of playing online through Elite Chess, and that might be a little bit different than chess.com possibly. But I'm very impressed with just how quickly the board moves, how quickly the pieces, and the fact that I'm just not seeing any significant lag. So if we go back and we play online and we press a new game and we start, it recognizes that all the pieces have been set up, and now I'm going to be playing as dark. So here we go. Nice bright lights, as you can see. Very quick. Some Rui Lopez. As soon as the opponent moves, we're not even seeing any delay whatsoever, just like that. Just gonna move out the queen, I guess. Something along those lines. Losing a piece. Trying to take advantage of things now. Yep, moving out the queen. Another thing that I really like is the fact that the pieces themselves are recognized exactly for what they are, which is also really quite nice. Where's he going? Is he going to go try to maneuver around here? Okay. I don't think it's going to work really well for you, buddy. Let's move out the rook. Sure, why not? That sounds good with me. This player's not playing really all that well. And now he doesn't have a good way to protect himself. Oh no. How's he gonna protect that pawn? And I'm not really playing, you guys, just kind of moving the pieces around. Okay. Okay, forget it. It's worth taking some pieces for. You got your rook taken. Oh well. Get your other piece taken. I mean, come on, dude. Oh, well. There we go. Good game. But for example, like when you're setting your pieces up and you put a different piece here, as you can see, it will actually tell you, no, that's not the right piece. Or in this case, like if we put in the wrong color rook. So that's good to see that we get this individual piece recognition as we did before. See, it's not working unless you put the right piece in there. And once you do, now you're good to go. See, once again, works really well. Well, that's about all I want to show you guys today. Like I said, it was meant to be more so like a video update than anything. Just wanted to kind of share with you guys my thoughts, and as well as sort of give you guys helpful advice as far as what are some of the features that I look forward to in some of these electronic boards. What are some of the features that are important to me that I feel like after having tested so many different electronic chessboards, I've kind of got this sort of a well-rounded idea as far as what works, what doesn't, so that way you guys can sort of make your decision when you're purchasing some of these boards based on some of these characteristics and some of these considerations. When you get your board, you're happy with the way that it functions. Yeah, so once again, thank you for watching my video. I'm kind of talking a little bit lower because my kid is sleeping now. I've actually made part of this video before and I thought I recorded it, but I didn't record anything, so it was just so frustrating when I see that my first part of the recording is me setting up the camera and my second part of the recording is telling my son that I'm finished with the video. And I was like, oh, I guess I didn't record the part in between. But anyways, I hope you have found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to hit that like button before you leave. Next video, hopefully, I have ordered the ChessLink, the device that hopefully will allow us to be able to use my Millennium King board to also log in online and test how it works, see some of the features that we're going to be able to get with the ChessLink. It costs $99. I think on some websites it costs as much as $150. So that is a little bit of an investment for, you know, to make your board be able to play online. And I'm also interested to see, because I know the Millennium King was a board that had the, like, you had to press the squares to let the board know when you're moving the pieces. So that was a little bit more of kind of a design that's being sort of phased out now. So I'm actually interested to see myself, once I get that ChessLink, to see how everything works, and also see from the software end of things how everything looks. I'm really excited, and hopefully so stay tuned, and let me know what you guys think about this video too, and I'll see you guys in the next one, okay?